Namaste, welcome to Buddha's teaching. Today's topic, I'd like to talk about a natural habit. A natural habit is something that we have developed over our lifetime, okay, up until this point, and we do not think much about our own habit because we think it's natural. That's how it is, the way it is, the way that we operate. And that is the reason why it's very easy to overlook this habitual phenomenon that is happening. It's very easy to overlook what goes on in our mind because it is, after all, natural, and it is, after all, a habit. All right. So these habits here are the culprit in a way that oftentimes leads us into not good places, lead us to you know do or to say unwholesome things, right? So as we all know, our mind is comprised of six senses, right? The five sense door, which is the eye, ears, our nose, our taste buds, or our tongues, and of course the our physical body, the skin, the sensation of the body. So those are the five sense doors, and the central CPU that we call it the Mano or the Cita, right? Which is the mind itself that makes the decision, that do all the reaction, reacting to different kinds of experience that the five senses bring into, right? So that's what our mind is. So, and because of that, and our mind, as you know, operate very fast, right? At the speed that beyond our comprehension. We cannot dissect our mind to the one single moment at a time because it runs so fast. It's just like a movie that you see on the screen. The movie that you see is comprised of many picture frames, right? At least the minimum, the 30 uh, picture frame per second that runs, before our very eyes. But we don't see 30, picture frames. We see picture moving, right? So it seems like there are things that is alive, but when we see movie, we see, people moving. We see moving things. So it seems like one consecutive uh, living thing that go on, but in actuality, it's just one frame at a time. But because of the frames is running so fast, it's beyond our ability to comprehend that, to understand that. So we just assume that, oh, okay, there's one thing that's happening. Just like right now, when you see me, there seems to be somebody here, right, talking to you, okay? But in actuality, you see me at least at a minimum 30 frames per second, okay? Because to make a video, normally they do a 30 frame that can, with the speed of 30 frame per second, um, the picture becomes seamless. There's no interruption. Okay, so because of that, we have no clue what's actually happening, and and now that our mind, since our mind got in a way into some kind of illusion about this, what we call conventional reality, our mind gets to develop its own way of believing about the self I that exists. But in any case, so because of that, we develop habits, okay, to regarding the different experience that we have, because the self I mind is getting into this habit with all the experience that it receives. Okay, it's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit complicated to explain and to understand, right? But the way, so of course, the way the our five senses work, so we experience things with our five senses. Without our five senses, that being the information, we wouldn't have the mind that associate with those senses. Okay, so we become conscious because of those senses. We have eye conscious, we have eye consciousness, we have ear consciousness, right? We have nose consciousness, um, you know, tongues, and of course a physical consciousness. Okay, so what are natural or habitual reaction to the experiences that we have? Okay, all of these reaction, the habits that we have here applies to pretty much all of our five senses. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring up one sense, which is the eye sense that we use the most, because the eye sense can sense things the furthest. Okay, so how how does it react? Um, when we open our eyes, when we use our eyes, right? We go around and we see, we open in the morning, or we go to work, or we go to the store shopping or whatnot, driving, doesn't matter. Okay, we see, right? The eye see. Okay, the eye see. So what are the habitual reaction that after the eye see? What are the habitual reaction that we have? Okay, and these, again, this action applies to all five senses, but I'm just talking about the eye right now. So when we see, one reaction is lust or desire arise. Okay, and that again applies to all five senses, but I'm just talking about the vision right now, the eye. What does that mean? When you see something pretty, when we see something beautiful, whether a man or a woman, a car, a house, flowers, birds, insects, whatever you want, you wanna say, yeah, that whatever that we see, right? Whatever that we see, or whoever that we see, seeing is just seeing through the eye sense. Okay, so the function of the eyes is to see, right? So now the eyes see, right? After the eyes see, what happened? It goes into sixth sense, Mano, right? And what happens there? Mano react, right? It comes back with some kind of opinion, right? It's a reaction. It comes back with some kind of desire. It comes back with some kind of attachment. Okay, it comes back with some kind of grasping. It comes back with some kind of anger, dislike. Okay, so it comes back with, after seeing, the eye do the seeing, all right, and then after um, it it transmit the information into the Mano. The Mano does the processing, give back the reaction. Okay, so now the reaction comes out as having lust, having desire, okay, having some kind of like that, or have some kind of dislike, don't like that person. Okay, um, so the eye that does the seeing, that's all it does. Okay, that's all it does. It does not have any judgment, it does not have any opinion whatsoever. The function of the eyes is just to see, and that's it. Okay, that is their job, and that is it. But the 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 Mano has the function of reacting. That is a habit. That is a natural habit, reacting. Okay, reacting, and that is very close to us. We overlook this phenomenon that is happening, right? For most of us, we think this is normal because we are human, we have emotion. That's what we always say. We have this emotion, we have the feeling, okay? And without this, a lot of people say, okay, if we don't have emotion, if we don't have feeling, right? Wouldn't we be like a dead person or something like that, right? The mind is very clever in coming up with all kinds of excuse and explanation. Okay, so the eye do the seeing, and then they transmit the information to the Mano, to the Cita, right inside the sixth sense, reacts back with some kind of emotion, right, like or dislike. Okay, when there's like, whether it's some kind of lust or longing, attaching to want to attach to something, clinging to something. You see a nice purse, nice dress, right, nice watch, a pretty woman, handsome man. This desire arise, there's lust arise, and there's some kind of um, intention that wants to grab onto, wants to cling on, want to to uh, to have ownership of. So that arise. Okay, and also again that applies to the all the five senses. All right, now if likes arise, so those are the greed, the desire that happens. If dislike arise, you don't like a person, or because of memory, or because of the way that we have some kind of idea in the back of my mind, of our mind, in the back of our mind, saying that that person don't look good or look suspicious or something. So the mind react based on memories, okay, and make the reaction comes out as some kind of opinion, some kind of judgment. Okay, that's how the mind works. So it's we don't just see things as they are. Okay, we see things and then we develop some kind of ideas, some kind of emotion, right? Some kind of opinion toward those different objects, different materials, different people. Okay, that is a function of the Mano, of the sixth sense. Okay, now what else that arise? If anger arise because of something that you don't like, there's also a friend of anger is hatred. Okay, they come along together. So there's hatred, arise also, right? Dislike, anger, and then hatred. So that's the job of the Mano. And of course, a lot of it has to do with the memory that it access, that you know that the sixth sense access, right? The sixth sense, the Mano access the memory, um, to figure out if we have some kind of bad experience before. What else that can arise? Some kind of arrogance, some kind of macho-ness, or some kind some sometimes you see a certain people, and you the self ego eyes, the Mano, right? The self ego eye wants to show something, to build some kind of uh, illusory wall, or strength in a way, right? To show that it is something, you know. So, or it does not want to take any advice, right? Say, I'm good, right? Don't need to listen, or something like that. So there's a show of arrogance, okay, by just seeing somebody. All of a sudden, let's say the person is walking, all of a sudden the person sees somebody, and just like that, the attitude change, okay, the arrogant, okay. What else that arise? So I'm describing the attributes of the unwholesome mental activity that can arise, right, with our senses. We can develop wrong view toward certain event that we see, to certain people that we see, okay. We can see the same person, but right away again, um, sixth sense access the memory past, the past memory, and we continue to think of the person as a bad person or whatnot, or we develop some kind of wrong view regarding a certain person, okay. We don't just see the person as they are right now at this moment. We don't do that. When we see the person, we search our memory, and we attach that, right, to that person right now, and that creates some kind of wall, or create some kind of automatic emotion within us, okay. Good or bad, that's another story. So when we develop wrong view toward a person, we tend to develop wrong speech, okay. So with wrong view, now we have wrong speech toward the person. It can be our children, okay, or a grown children who's living with the parents, or an elderly parents who have no place to go and living with the children, vice versa, okay. There are many elderly people, who uh, depends on their children, and there's clash, of course. There's that happened before, and now they cannot let go of the past thing that happened, and the 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 grudge, the anger that they had before, now is never never cut off. It's always there inside the mind. So every time you walk past a person, there is this negative emotion arise, okay, and that can lead to wrong speech and wrong action, okay. What else that can arise from, uh, by, let's say, by seeing, again, it applies to all the five senses. But jealousy, we can see somebody who is who dress we think better than us in with fancy expensive clothes, driving expensive cars, have a beautiful appearance, and all that, or hold a high status, making a lot of money in high position. So when we see the person, we develop the mano, develop the reaction, the habitual reaction of jealousy. Okay, so jealousy comes out due to just by seeing the person. Okay, as soon as you see the person or even your neighbor, you see them driving very expensive car, there's a little jealousy arise. Okay, also on the opposite end of that, let's say you see somebody and then that somebody seems like a person who don't have much, and you sort of step back, right? Maybe thinking, maybe he or she is gonna come ask me for some kind of help, some kind of donation or whatnot. So you have this, pushback, right? So that can also arise just by seeing the person. Okay, so as you can see, all of these reaction of the Cita, of the mind, okay, of the Mano, these are unwholesome, right? And what I've just described are the characteristic of the unwholesome reaction of the mind via the eyes, okay? Just the eyes. But just like I have repeated many times, this same reaction also applies to the sound, right? To the nose, to the tongues, and to the face, to the trachea. For example, for the sound, you hear the sound of somebody, okay? Then the mano access that sound. Let's say that's the sound of somebody that you like, okay? So there's a certain feeling, emotion arise because of that sound, okay? So you see the habit of the mind. The mind works like that, okay? It generates some kind of emotion, okay? It's a reaction. It go back out quick, you know. Like the sound, don't like the sound, okay? You hear your favorite song, you have your favorite music, boom, you smile, you clap your hands, you sing along. You hear the sound of somebody you don't like, boom, you have anger arise, right? Hatred arise, and things like that. So imagine now all these five senses during our waking moment, these five senses are running continuously. So with all this emotion that is running, we see, we hear, we smell, we taste, and we feel this. There's a lot going on, right? There's a lot going on. The mano is processing all kinds of things, right? And that's the reason why our emotion is like that. Okay, it's changing like this. It's because of this five senses bring in the information, and the mano do all the comparing, judging, opinionating, and all that, and develop, and spit out the reaction, desire, like, dislike, and all kinds of things, right? For us normal human being, we don't just see, we have a reaction, we have emotion and feeling. We don't just hear, okay? That is a habitual, natural way that of the mind, right? It's not our per se, it's the way that the mind works. The mind process information and spit out this reaction like that. This is how the mind works. Okay, we there's no I, there's no we doing anything. This is how the mind works. We cannot push ourselves just to laugh. The mind bursts out laughing by itself. If the mind hears something funny, if the mind sees something funny, if the eye, okay, it just bursts out laughing or cry or angry or mad. That is how the mind works based on all this, right? So that is what I like to bring to your attention today, is that this very thing that is happening here, this is what we need to be aware of. Okay, because this is very easily overlooked because we are born with it, it's natural. Okay, so it's so easy overlook, also, very easy to overlook this one, right? A natural human being is designed to look outward to protect itself, right? So we do not know about this one, right? So that's why the teaching is to teach us to look at this one. What is processing? What is this mind doing? Now then, becoming aware that when we see and something arise, we know right away, oh, okay, this emotion and feeling arise within me, right? Negative, positive, or whatnot. So this is how you become aware, how you become mindful of this emotion, of the mind reaction to things. Okay, so that is the message for today, is to become aware of this process within ourselves. Where does it lead us to? We should know what is unwholesome. We produce that come out unwholesome, based on unwholesome poison, right? The three poison: the greed, the desire, the anger, the hatred, and of course all of that is based on ignorance. When that happens, it leads to unwholesome speech and unwholesome action, right? Which is we call unwholesome karma. And we know when this unwholesome karma goes out, it's a guarantee there will be unwholesome fruit result that will come back. Okay, that's a guarantee. So by becoming aware of this wholesome or unwholesome thing that goes on, then you see, okay, you become aware of this phenomenon that's happening to what we call human being. Okay, that's what a human being is. The process of this incredible phenomenon of the mind that that is operating based on this platform we call the body. The body has no clue what goes on. The body's job is just to support the the five senses to function. Okay, the mind depends on the body to function. Okay, and the body depends on the mind to give it life. Okay, so the two works together like that. That's what a human being is. Okay, so that's what I like to relate to you all today, to become aware of mind process, the habit that we've been going through. Okay, and understand that with unwholesome reaction, unwholesome things that the mind produce, when it produces something unwholesome, we tend to be not happy. We have issue. It's because the mind produces unwholesome mental activity. When we have desire, right? We have lust or whatever, and that desire is too far to grab to get. Is we cannot get it according to what we want. Then what happens? We become not happy, right? So that is why we have to watch, okay, what is the cause of unhappiness? Is the unfulfilled desire, or the unful or the result of the anger and the hatred, right? And that is all based on the ignorance of this mental process within, right? So that's the message for today. Until next time, I like to pay respect to the triple gems. I like to pay respect to the Buddha. I like to pay respect to the Dharma. And I like to pay respect to the Sangha. Namaste.